So much to talk about. My name is Nabaté Isles here at Pregame version of the show, Miami Heat at the New York Knickerbockers. It's my pleasure to have one of the most versatile young guards in the league from KU, Mr. Mario Chalmers. How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Everything's well. Thank you. Everything's well. Talk about how your game has really grown in working with LBJ, D. Wade, and Chris Vaughn.
Just getting familiar with those guys, learning things that they picked up along their 9-year career. Just try to add those to mine.
And talk about the first 2 games of the series, how everything's clicking for you guys, and how you're looking to continue it for the rest of the series, and obviously the rest of the playoffs.
We just try to go out there and play with our mindset. Play our Miami basketball. Let our defense do the talking, and let our defense be our offense also.
Talk about, I asked a couple of players this about the defensive culture of this team, starting with Pat Riley, of course, goes to his disciple, Eric Spoelstra. Talk about how that's really elevated your overall game to think defense and also elevate your athleticism as well.
We got some of the quickest guys in the NBA on our team. People that can play the passing lanes real well and keep a guy in front of them. So we just let our defense try to be our offense. And when we get our defense stopped, we want to get out and break.
And talk about KU making the final, once again. Bill Self, he's one of the great coaches in the last generation, I would say. So talk about what have you really learned from him and how he has helped develop you as a man.
He's got a great basketball IQ. Somebody knows the game very well. I enjoyed playing for him. He's one of the best coaches I ever had.
Mario, thank you for your time. Have a good game, and look forward to seeing you out there.
No problem.
Talk about reflect on the season. What really resonated with you this season? Talk about the defensive coaching, this organization.
Pregame version of the show, Game 3, Miami Heat at the New York Knickerbockers, and my pleasure to have one of the great stories of the rookie class this year in the NBA from Cleveland State, Mr. Norris. Cole, how are you, sir?
Good, how you doing?
Everything's well. Everything's well. And talk about how great is it to find your place with a team loaded with talent like this?
It's a great experience, being able to come in first year, compete in the playoffs, and compete for a championship. You know, it's a blessing.
And You came from Cleveland State. That's in the Horizon League, excuse me. And it's still D1, and it still gets some recognition because of the Butler Bulldogs. But what about in general, like the process you had to go through to be able to get some recognition from the scouts to be able to, because you dropped some major games, dropped major points in major games. So talk about how the process it took for you to get recognition. It
was a process. Definitely working hard, putting in a lot of work. We did play against high major schools, and against those schools, our team had to do well, and I had to produce, and I was able to do that and produce well. And then I went to a couple camps, on the Nike camp, and got invited to the NBA draft camp, and I performed well, and I think that's what helped propel me to this level so far.
You have a moxie for taking the shot when you see it's there. You have no hesitation for that. Did it help being at Cleveland State, having to carry that team? Did that help you a lot to be able to develop that killer instinct?
Well, that's just the edge that I play with. That's part of my makeup. Not being afraid. I always want to compete. And being at Cleveland State, I was used to taking the big shots. So. The players here, the coaches here, they encourage me to be myself when I'm out there on the court. So, if the shot is open and it's at the right time to score in the game, I'm going to take it.
One more question for you. Talk about your experience in the NBA playoffs for the first time. Beautiful for you, to be living your dream and be part of such a team filled with championship aspirations.
It's great. Everyone wants to play for a winning team and a winning organization. And for me, I'm able to do it right out the gate my first year. I'm taking full advantage of it, learning, enjoying every moment of it, because these moments are not guaranteed.
One more question: where's the high top, man? You should have kept that, man.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a break for a while, but you never know. It might come back.
I'm thinking about doing that growing up myself because I had that back in the 90s, So.
Yeah, it might come back. You never know. Just be on the lookout.
Yeah, the only thing is that having to maintain it, that's the only problem.
Hey, if you want it, you'll maintain it.
Norris, thank you for your time. Pleasure interview. Have a great game in the rest of the season for sure.
Thank you.
Talk about here pregame version of the show, Miami Heat at the New York Knickerbockers Game 3. My pleasure to have one of the deadliest shooters in the NBA for many years, Mr. Mike Miller. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Indeed. And now talk about first two games worked out as beautifully as they could work out. So what are you expecting from the Knicks tonight?
Well, it's gonna be a good game. Obviously at home they're a different team. The only thing we did in this series right now is protect home court, which was our job. And now it's going to be a tough atmosphere tonight. They're going to play really well here tonight, so it's going to be an exciting game.
And ever since you've been in Miami, you've battled health and battled injuries. Just talk about how has that really gave you a perspective on your career and everything, and from the standpoint of you took less money and you're here, not the star that you're capable of being with another team, so talk about how it really enlightened your perspective.
Well, it definitely puts things in perspective, but that's part of being in professional sports. Injuries are a part of it. Obviously, the older you get, the more accustomed they are to you, and it's just part of it. I signed up for this. I'm excited about the opportunity we had. We had a good run last year. We're back at the playoffs again this year, which is fun, and we'll see where it takes us.
Talk about your career when you reflect on it. I mean, your time in Memphis, you put up major numbers. Talk about how you were really able to build your skill set to not just be a shooter.
Well, that's one of the things. Obviously when you're put in different spots and different positions on the court, in Memphis I was asked to do a lot more. I had to deliver those things, and here it's a lot different. You got guys that can create and do the things that make the game easier for people like me and JJ and Shane and Mario. So, I'm happy to be where I'm at. I've had a great NBA run. I'm missing obviously one thing, and that's what our goal is here, and hopefully we'll come up with it.
That's right, the hardware.
That's right.
Talk about growing up in South Dakota, man, wow, because I think you're the only McDonald's All-American from South Dakota, am I right?
I don't know, that might be true.
Talk about how you had something to prove when you did those major AAU things and the summer camps. Talk about how you had to play with chip on your shoulder to prove that you can hang with the big city boys.
Well, for sure. Anytime you grow up in a place where basketball is really not known, or you grow up in a state of 700,000 people, 700 guys can play from the state of South Dakota. It's just about getting seen into AAU and all the tournaments that are out there now. Give people that be seen to play Division I basketball from the state of South Dakota. So AAU has helped a lot of people in my situation.
One more question for you. The 1998 McDonald's game had very good talent. Quentin Richardson, yourself, Rashard Lewis, Al Harrington. Do you reflect with those guys, about those times, your class?
Yeah, of course. Obviously there's always going to be a link there between us. Whenever you go through high school playing against each other, playing all-star games with each other, and then going to college, or some of them went to the league, straight to the league. But when you go to college with those guys, there's always that link, and you're happy to see them still in the league. That means that we're still fighting and hanging on, and there'll always be that certain link between us.
Y'all true vets, trying to bring the rooks up and the young ones to let them know, give them wisdom. Right?
Yeah, for sure. It's amazing how fast it goes. I just finished my 12th season, and to think about that's crazy. And but that's how fast it goes. So you try to pass it on to these young guys to enjoy it, make the most of it, because it's going to go fast.
How's your family doing, Jim?
Everyone's doing great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Mike, thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the season.
Thank you.